Hey, welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Tim, and of course, our coach on site, Nathan.
Hey, your mortgage coach here, Nathan Kerpan.
This morning, we are going to be discussing a couple of the most asked questions that people have when they start to enter into the mortgage space, or maybe they are fearful of entering that space because they don't know the information. And so we're going to be asking Coach a few questions about what should I do in these various scenarios.
Yeah, so I know the biggest one we get routinely run into is what's the difference between being just simply pre-qualified versus being pre-approved? And so,
yeah, I would say even once you're into the industry, that could still be somewhat confusing because both of them sound really good. I'm pre-qualified. But what does that mean? And can I take that to the bank, literally speaking?
Right. Can you cash that?
And so then when you're entering into that with a realtor, you start looking at houses, you're going online, all those different things that everybody does today.
Yeah, inevitably it's Friday, it's 6 p.m., you're off work, and your dream home pops on the market, right? That perfect one you've been looking for, and all you've done to date, if even, is you've gone online and fogged a mirror.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you've just entered some generic information in some company's web, spider web of marketing, right? Because that's really all they're trying to do is they're just trying to give you that endorphin.
Exactly. Actually, even last night, my wife says to me, she's like, "Oh, I saw that rates dropped below 6 for the first time." And I'm like, I don't know that you can go off of that headline legitimately. Now, has it
any
been
headline, right? These
correct,
days
right.
needs to be scrutinized.
It's kind of clickbait to get you into the system, and then you start filling out information, and there is that dopamine euphoria of all the things. So here's the question then, Coach, is what is a pre-qualification, what is a pre-approval,
right,
and why does it matter?
So, the simplest way for us to put it is we break it into 3 simple steps. One is a pre-qual is your credit solid enough to take the next step, right? Are there obstacles in your credit right now, or is the credit a green light, right? We kind of like green light, yellow light, red light, right? It's very simple, baby step like language. And that's really our first step with people every time. And something special we do is we do a soft pull in that process as well, so to keep it simple and not negatively impacting people.
So pre-qualification is important then?
Yeah, a pre-qual is important because, you could provide somebody's, you could provide all your paperwork, right? You could do what most people don't do with lenders is provide all the stuff up front, but they never look at your credit. And they go, and we've all had those conversations. Man, I make so much money, or man, this person's so well off in the community. I don't even need to look at their credit. It's got to be golden. So pre-qual is really the credit phase of that 3-step process.
Okay, so then what is pre-approval then?
So pre-approval is where we take it from credit qualified to pre-approved. And no offense to those that enter their information. We want everyone to open up a file with their best foot forward. But the reality is the industry looks at your income a certain way. So in order to look at that income, it can't just be, well, here's what I had on my W-2 last year, because, we look at your pay stubs for your year-to-date breakdown of different things. And so there's so many people, and it's frustrating, right? We've seen this in the market. We've seen where people have went under contract to buy that dream home, and 3 weeks later, a week before they're supposed to get the keys, they're living out of boxes because they're all packed up, ready to move, and something goes sideways. So, in that buyer, all of a sudden, your best friend, your neighbor, your family, you're finding yourselves distraught because you've been told or worse, I get referrals from time to time where the bank just stops talking to you, where the loan officer won't even return your calls. And we're not those people, but I've taken those calls from those distraught families. I've provided clarity in that moment. I've actually saved a lot of those deals as well. So that's not ideal.
So you're saying there's actually people who get under contract with even just a pre-qualification letter that says, "Hey, you might."
Yeah, the fog of mirror. Yeah, they fogged a mirror, and that's all the lender ever asked them for, whether it was a .com lender or even a bank right here in your community. They let it go that far, and either due to the lack of effort of that loan officer or knowledge of that loan officer, they find themselves being told by the underwriter, who is the ultimate authority, right? The underwriter's putting their signature on your loan, basically vouching for you, right? Putting their job on the line, saying they've checked everything, they've dotted the I's, they've crossed the T's. And so that's what you're finding. And unfortunately for sellers, if you're a seller in this market, you're going to find that you may not be able to trust that, and, unless it's from a benchmark mortgage, from your mortgage coach, the Kerpan group, etc. I would be scrutinizing that. So if I were selling a home in the market, I would be really looking closely at, and just because it's a big name, just because maybe it's a name that you have your bank account, they might be great at checking and savings and all those relational things that need to be done in banking. But mortgage is a unique thing. And that's why we specialize in that financial coaching side of things.
So then I guess my next question is, what is the coach approach? And from what you're saying, it sounds like both sides of this equation really need to have a coach or somebody in their corner that's saying, okay, if I'm buying from you, Nathan, and you go and you get the benchmark team to help you, that, hey, let's scrutinize even the pre-approval that this person is coming to the table with, because you don't want your house taken off the market.
When you see it, like you see homes back on the market, no fault of the seller, right? So as a buyer, you don't want to be the buyer. And here's the truth. The truth is there are homes that are under contract right now, as we speak, that won't go to closing. That seller will not be getting paid. That seller, maybe it's a domino effect. That seller may not be able to buy that next home, let alone the buyer. You as a homeowner, as a aspiring homeowner, aren't going to be able to make that next move, and your family's going to be stuck, like having told your landlord that you're moving and you haven't done it. And so we believe that you deserve clarity with certainty. So in that 3-step process, step 2 is the full pre-approval. We're going to look at, here's the scary, our industry is always kind of pulling itself at both ends, because homes are unique, right? There's a uniqueness to each home that's a fit for your family, a fit for yours, fit for mine. And so we get anxious, right? And we want to start compressing time. Maybe we didn't do the homework we should have done beforehand. But long story short, we want to take the time to get pre-approved. Now, you get things into us by noon, we're going to strive to do everything we can. 9 out of 10, we can get pre-approved, fully pre-approved same day. Got to have a bit of your ducks in a row. You maybe, if it is for that dream home, you're maybe going to have to stop what you're doing to get us some pay stubs, get us some bank statements. We're not talking a laundry list of 50 things. It's really just 5 crucial things in that list.
There is a lot of things on that list that are also helpful to the process. Some extra things that we have in there, like your opt out, your do not call list. Those are as many calls as I get on a daily basis, despite having gotten on those lists. Those are other things that are also in there. But like you said, five major things.
Yeah, the core tenets of what we need to be pre-approved for most people, and they're important. We work with people all the time. We've got more people in the last several years that have this gig economy is real, or they're working, a full-time job with a part-time job, or they're getting a lot of overtime or bonuses. And while you've presented your best foot forward, stating an income, what your W-2 says at the end of the year, some of that can be counted, some of it can't. Again, as a coach, we serve as a guide. You're the hero in this story. You'll always hear us say that because it's your goals, it's your dreams, and it's your resources. We're going to do everything we can to build that best plan around you.
Right. So whether you're buying a home or whether you're selling your home and moving into your next home, you want to have the coach on your side that's going to help walk you through this process, give you the clarity with certainty, and work with you to give you the knowledge to execute this process. It doesn't happen a whole lot of times for most people, but I mean, maybe 1 to 3 times that they're going to buy a house.
Oh,
maybe
sure.
5 to 8, depending on the individual.
Yeah,
I mean,
depends. Yeah, it depends on how fast your family, like what life events are happening, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, why are people buying now versus then?" We're like, "Well, life happens, right?" I talked to a client the other day who's simply like they've just outgrown their space, and it makes my life miserable, right?
Right. Well, we're winding down here. So in the last kind of 60 seconds or here or so,
Yeah.
what is the plan, and then what is kind of your call to action to somebody who might find themselves in this scenario?
Well, the beautiful thing about that third step in that process, so once we have you pre-approved, yes, we can equip you with the most accepted letter out there in the marketplace that's going to help you win that home or have the most confidence behind whatever your financial goals are. But the strategic plan we build is really the key. And that's that SMART Homeownership Analysis that we build for every single client, no matter their walk of life, whether it's a first-timer who wants to get into that next home for as little as possible. And we do that routinely for less than what it cost you to move into the next rental. So, call us today for that. Or it's somebody who's that dream home or that retirement home, whatever that looks like. We can come alongside you and craft a strategic plan that is specific for you and around your goals and your resources. And so we take the time to present that, educate around that. And the way you can engage us with that is, number one, who do you know that we need to know? Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, renovate, or refinance? We can have those, we can build that custom plan and strategic plan for them. And so to reach out to us, just give us a call or shoot us a text. We're very, very tech savvy. Been texting with clients since 2005. And you can do that at 314-551-9587 or go online to benchmarkmidamerica.com.
This has been the Coach's Corner. Hopefully you got some value from this content today. Write down in our comments section what you took away, and we will see you next time. I'm Tim, your loan partner, and this is
Nathan, your mortgage coach.
Have a great day.